Hello everyone, welcome to another repair video. In this video today we're going to be working on a Nintendo Switch which has been sent in by a NHS nurse in Wales, and this Nintendo Switch has been sent in for liquid damage. So her son has dropped it in water and now she said it doesn't turn on at all, which is usually a fairly straightforward job, but it all depends on the damage what's been done inside. So we've got a note with this. It says, "Hi Philip, further to our recent text messages, please find enclosed my son's Nintendo Switch plus the plug. Hopefully you can repair it, and if so, please use the same packaging to return it to us." I've had to cover the rest of it up because it's got an address and things on it, so I'm not going to be showing that obviously for privacy reasons, but the rest of the note has to be cleaned up, has to be hidden. But yeah, let's do what we always do first. Let's get the USB amp meter and we'll see what kind of power this is drawing, so we can kind of get some idea of what's happening inside before we open it. Here we go. So got my amp meter here. I'm not going to use the original plug because that means I can't see what kind of voltage it's drawing, or see what kind of current it's drawing rather. So let's unplug the micro USB and let's plug in a USB type C into this. Okay, so plug this in. Okay, we've got 0.4 amps and that's coming on. Or rather that's saying it's charging. So what's happening to this thing? It's a bit strange. It says it's charging. It hasn't jumped to fast charge. Okay, so it turns on and turns straight back off. Let's try it again. Right, okay. Right, so it's also not jumping up to fast charge. 0.37 amps is not fast charge. It should jump up to around about 1.2. So I'm going to say this is probably something to do with the power management chip, which is pretty common on these things. So let's waste no time. Let's get this thing open and we'll see what we can do with it, shall we? Let's take our Y screwdriver. It's a Y double O, I think. Y triple O. So take a Y triple O screwdriver and pop out these 4 screws here. Okay. Now we'll take a Phillips bit, pH 000. Let's take out these 2 top screws. No game in there, good. We've got a screw missing here. And unfortunately I just realised that I wasn't showing the disassembly on camera. So I've taken out the 4 Y000 screws, taken out a Phillips screw there, Phillips screw there. There was no game in the slot. I've taken out 1 from here, but there's 1 missing. So someone's probably tried to have a go at taking it apart themselves and then probably realised they didn't have the right screwdriver, but it's fine, never mind. So there is 1 screw missing. I do need to remember that. But let's pop this back cover off. And I've just noticed as well that there is some damage here. So yeah, someone's definitely been inside here. There we go. Right, okay, so let's see what we're dealing with. So that just looks like dust in there. Looks like we've got some sort of evidence of liquid all along here, which is not good. But let's carry on opening this up and see how bad it looks. I always forget that middle screw. Sitting there thinking why it's not coming off, and I forget that middle screw all the time. Okie doke, so unfortunately we're going to have to get to the back of this. So we're going to have to take the board out, because we've got to get to the back of this to figure out what's going on with the power management side, because on these ones everything is on the back, which is not good. The good news is the screen works for sure, or it looks like it works, so it looks like we don't have any issues with backlight or anything like that. Right, okay, so there we go. Board is out. So let's move that speaker. Right, we've got some indication of something here, some kind of marks on the bottom. Let's take a look in 3, 2, 1. That's clean. Yeah, that is clean. That is very clean. Can't see anything obvious there. Right, so on the Nintendo Switch, the normal Nintendo Switch, the power management chip would be up here in the middle by the CPU. And then you'd have another one down here on the right hand side, but this one they're flipped around onto this side of the board, and the two chips that control power, the two main chips that control power, are this chip here and this chip here. This one is the main power management chip, and this one is for battery charging, I think, the battery charging IC. And then somewhere, I can't remember exactly where, but there's a P13 USB chip as well, I think. I'm not sure if I can't actually remember actually if the P13 is on here. Yeah, it might not be, I'm not sure, or it could be under here. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the layouts on these particular boards, but from what I can see so far, this looks relatively clean. Now, one thing I'm wondering is this switching on? Is this shutting itself off because of the battery? That's what I'm wondering. Has the battery gone bad? And is the battery not charging? I'll tell you what to do. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll plug this in to the amp meter while it's out of the chassis, while there's nothing plugged into it. And let's see if it's still drawing the 0.37 amps. I don't think it should be. Yeah, no, it's not drawing anything. Right, now let's plug it in to the battery. Yeah, so the battery seems to be working. The battery appears to be working. So we're on 0.29 amps there. whereas without the battery in, it's very tight. And if you see any flies flying past the camera, I do apologise. Yep, so we've got 0 amps drawn there when we disconnect the battery. So that battery appears to be working, and so does the BQ 2419 something. The battery management chip appears to be working. So you see we've got 0.1 amps there, and then drops down to 0 because there's nothing to charge. So the battery appears to be working, so I'm going to say that if there's any sort of issue with this, it's going to be down to this chip here, which is the power management IC. So as you can see, that's the M92T36, it's a power management IC, and I'm going to say that if anything, that's going to be what's causing the issue, because it appears as though it's not able to distribute power properly, and that's why it's shutting off. That's what I'm going to say is the likely candidate. So I'm going to give this an ultrasonic clean first of all. I don't want to take these shields off really if I can help it, because well, actually I could take this one off. I don't really want to take the one that the CPU is on. Let's just pop that one off, and that looks clean. I think that's a memory chip, and that looks clean under there, so that shield can go back on. Let's have a look under this one. Again, look clean. Yep, looks mint. So that shield can go back on. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give this ultrasonic. Let's get rid of all of that old thermal paste off there, because we're going to be reapplying paste anyway. So I'm going to give this board an ultrasonic clean. I don't think it's going to make a difference, but if there is any sort of corrosion that I can't see with the eye, it might get rid of it. But I'm going to say it's probably down to the M92T36 power management IC, if anything. But I don't understand how there's no visible damage to this when it's water damaged. It's very, very strange. I might have to look at it under the microscope and just inspect the entire board. There might be some corrosion what I can't see with the eye. So I'll give it an ultrasonic clean and then I'll inspect it. Okay, so this has been ultrasonic now, and it's had a little bit of a dry outside for the past 5 minutes. So it's really, really sunny outside, and because it's only isopropyl alcohol, it's dried it really, really quick. So let's plug this back in again and see what's happening with it, shall we? Let's see if it jumps up to fast charge. I doubt it's going to have made any difference because there's no visible corrosion at all anyway. 0.37. That's actually higher than it was. Now I know it was 0.37 earlier. Oh, there we go. That's jumped up to 1 amp. That's fast charging. An ultrasonic clean has caused this to fast charge. Okay, I didn't expect that. I know it was 0.37 earlier, but that was with everything plugged in. Right, okay, so let's... Well, that's good news, because that might mean that an ultrasonic clean has sorted this out, which does happen sometimes, not all the time, but it does happen sometimes. So let's get this plugged back in. I'm actually quite excited now. But let's get this plugged back in and let's see if it switches on, shall we? Right, so I need to make sure I get all of the cables. I did not expect that. I did not expect that at all. That's cool. That's really good news. I'm not going to plug the speakers in. I just want to plug in the touchscreen, the LCD, and the battery. Not going to bother plugging much more in than that. So, and let's try and get the fan ribbon in as well. Right, okay, so I need to move this camera further towards the edge of the table. But yeah, let's try and get the main things plugged into this, and let's try and see if this works, shall we? Because that's fast charging now, and it wasn't just. So it looks like an ultrasonic has caused it to start fast charging. So that might have had just a little bit of corrosion that I couldn't see on the chip area. So if there was a little bit of corrosion that I couldn't see around that chip, then it might have been stopping it from making a connection. Okay, I'm getting way too many disturbances today for my liking, but what can you do? Getting a lot of phone calls. There's been a massive power surge locally to me, and everybody's consoles are being broke. It was very local, like probably 5 miles away. There was a big power surge, and pretty much every console which was plugged into people's houses has been broken, and I'm getting an awful lot of calls about it. I mean, which is great, but I've got a feeling in the next few days I'm going to be overrun with work, and I'm probably not going to have time to do any videos. We'll see. I'll see what happens. But yeah, there's a big power surge, and a lot of consoles have been broken because of it. I mean, personally, if that was me, I'd be suing the electric company. But then they've got the argument of saying you should be using surge protectors, so, which is true. I do use surge protectors on all of my consoles, and I think everyone should. And that's one of those is actually going to be a video, hopefully, in the next day or two. I'm waiting for some MOSFETs to come because I can't really repair any power surge faults without them. And I'm completely out at the minute, so I'm going to wait for some new ones to come. I usually take them off donor boards wherever possible, but I've got no donor boards left either. So, or no, I've got donor boards, but none with those chips on. So I'm completely stuck at the minute. Hopefully that'll be here in the next day or two. Right, so there's a touch screen in. Now let's pop in the battery. One thing I hate about this is the fact that you have to put the battery in before you put the ribbon cable that goes off to this Joy-Con rail here, which I really don't like doing, but unfortunately if I was to put that over there like that, it's going to cover the battery connector, so that's one thing that you have no option but to plug in after you've plugged in the battery. Right, okay, so this one we've obviously got to be super careful with because the battery is now in. And there we go. So we can't turn this on without doing that. Right, so let's try and turn it on. 3, 2, 1. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So let's plug it in. Okay. Is it going to go fast charge? Yes, it is. Yes! There we go. That is fixed. That is fantastic. Right, I'm going to leave this to charge for... you know, half an hour maybe. I'm actually going to use the customer's original charger so as we can get the full fast charge. But that appears to be working. Okay, that's just shut off. Okay, that's a bit weird. Alright, let's forget about that for now. I mean, touchscreen's working, great. That's working. Cool. Okay, I'm going to charge this up and I'll be back in half an hour or so. So let's just plug this into the customer's charger. Yep, customer's charger's working, great. So let's leave that there to charge for half an hour and then we'll come back to it and we'll test everything, reassemble it, and we'll pretty much call this fixed. Right, okay, let's have a look. Okay, we're on 10%. Cool, so that's holding a charge. If we take a look there, you'll see we're on 10%, which is good. So that's holding a charge. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to reassemble everything and just get it all back together. Put fresh thermal paste on, and then we should be able to call this fixed. This is fantastic news. I know this is not going to be very much of an entertaining video, but the good news is this is fixed. This is an NHS worker's console, and yeah, I'm just happy I could fix it for that. So it's not going to cost her anything apart from return postage. So this is going to go back to Wales, and I'm just super happy that I've managed to fix it for that, and even more happy that I've managed to fix it without adding any parts to it. I'm really surprised that an Ultrasonic clean got this working. You know, we don't usually get that lucky, but in this case we have, which is great news. Right, and there was one screw missing from here. Unfortunately, I don't have any replacements, otherwise I would have put one in, but I don't have any, so that's not an option. Let's swap back to the Y screwdriver, the Y000. Cool. There we go. All screws back in. There we go. Had a slight gap there at the top, that's gone back on. Cool. Console battery low, what we on? 10% still, so it's holding a charge. We've got 10%, cool. Right, let's give it a test. Yeah. Okay, so all of the buttons are working. Let's test Wi-Fi. Yeah, that picks up wireless connections. Let's just try connecting. Audio is working. Cool, everything's working as it should. The only thing I haven't got is a game to test the game cart, but I'm assuming that's going to be okay. Yeah, cool. I think that's it. I think we can call this fixed. I'm super happy with this. So to conclude then, the customer got pretty lucky with this one, and it appears that only a little bit of water got inside. Probably a little bit of corrosion around the power management chip that I couldn't see with my eye, and an ultrasonic clean has sorted that out, helped it to make that connection that it needs, and this console is fixed. So the customer's not going to be paying anything for this because she's an NHS nurse. She has sent me a picture of her ID, and that's all that I need. So I'm super happy with this. Just the fact that it hasn't cost anything to fix apart from postage here and then return postage. She's going to get the good news as soon as she checks her phone. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. As always, please hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more trying to fix videos, please hit the subscribe button. It really does help the channel out a lot. I'm trying really hard to get to 5,000 subscribers, and I'm trying hard and working really hard to get content out there as much as I possibly can. So that's going to be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Until next time, see you later. Bye for now.